So I'm Chief Growth Officer Sandeep Dal, and Yevgan is the CEO. And like I said, we have been in this business of custom software and automation for last many years, and we have been doing white label projects and otherwise direct projects for many large companies and large, medium, and small companies across the world. Our developers are based out of East Europe, many countries around that, and we have a very high level of expert team who was here to help you guys, help people here. So today's conversation is not related to even though it is AI, but we are going to talk about only on the pockets where we can have the use cases or the implementations of AI in which part of the business we can do. We are going to discuss the use cases, and I'm not going to go into technical things today, but we may have another presentation in the future where we will go into the technical part of it. So, like I said, today's topic is stuck on AI because most of like you guys have told us also, and many of us are overwhelmed with so much of noise around AI. And now we are trying to figure out how do it helps and where it helped me, and everybody knows about ChatGPT, but apart from checking my email and helping me find ideation or writing reports, what else it can do, or what else other things can do is what we will discuss here. Uh, So, the most important thing we discuss from when we talk about business and processes is why AI agents are a must for every business right now. Now, I always say that I always ask business owners whenever I meet them, or even mid-sized companies or large-sized companies. I was an IBM employee for many years, and I was an independent consultant, management consultant for many years, and I've worked on various projects in various large multi-billion dollar companies also. And even after spending millions of dollars on softwares and apps and all that, 40% of their businesses were still running on paper, spreadsheets, and email chains. Whenever we wanted to find something, we will go through the email chain rather than the actual SharePoint or any other information. And why was that happening? Because there is another person, I'll let them in. So there are so much of administrative friction in that, and rather than creating value, most of our employees and most of our business owners are spending time on finding that thing and copy pasting stuff. And we'll go into this in the next slides a little more. I call it as a chaos tax. Why it is a chaos tax? Because that is where we are spinning the wheels. We are not creating value, and we are wasting a lot of money and time and resources by stretching ourselves thin, by like Colin said, working in the business and not on the business, right? So we we have a situation where in many of the businesses we we earn a bid for 15% margin, and we are very excited about it. But when we actually walk away with only 5%, we go away with that. I wanted to check. Okay, so Brent and Henry have joined. Let me check whether they are here or not. Yes. Hi, Henry. Hi, Brent.
You doing?
Good. Thank you very much for joining. So here is a situation which I usually think most of the organizations, medium size or small or bigger, are there. Whenever we want to grow, or whenever we want to grow or launch any product or grow, we say we will hire more people or we will buy more apps. We'll get something because there are so many apps and so many softwares. And I'm not trying to sell any right now. What I'm trying to say is that there is a path where we can provide some information, so they use the AI assistants and agents to solve these problems. And why, if you look at it, the game has fundamentally changed in the last from the time the LLM models, the chat GPTs have come in a few years ago. The game has fundamentally changed, and this is a bigger impact on the world than than the internet itself. And in the right now, like I say it here, your growth is not limited to the number of our headcounts you have. Your growth is limited by how ambitious and how welcoming you are to the new technology. To the right, I just purposefully put this slide for big companies, because if you look at the big companies, many of them, Fortune 500 companies, are some of them are already AI future ready, like Coke, LVMH, P&G, and Unilever, and all that. Some are reaching there in a few years or not. But still, these organizations will take so much of a time. They are big organizations. They're spending so much of money in just meetings and all that. Whereas our target, small and medium businesses, can decide these things on a very fast if they listen and understand. Another link you see here is from a Vinod Khosla, which I admire, and he said he's a very big he's a billionaire. He has had many big. He's a Silicon Valley investor, and he said beautifully that AI will replace 80% of the jobs by 2030. Now, I have lost my job a few times, and the last time I got lost was in 2018, and after that I started my entrepreneurial journey. But it's not a fun time to be off the job. But I can tell you that 80% of the jobs, when we talk about these jobs, they are actually inside main businesses or big companies or anything. Like it says, any economically valuable job or any cognitive action you are taking in a job will can be done by 80% of that can be done by AI. It's a big statement, can be controversial, but even if it is 50% correct, I am happy. I'm happy means I should be worried. I'm happy from a business point of view, but I should be worried as an employee or something. So let's look at to other statistics. 46 years for electricity to hit 25% of the homes. It took 7 years for internet and 5 days for ChatGPT to reach it. That is the power of AI right now. And last year, more people got advice from AI than from their doctors, coaches, and therapists. That's a trend. And we need to figure out how we can get that into the business, how we can get that, and where in the business can be implemented. Now, on the right, I posted my post here. The main reason I put it here is because of this thumbnail which I found, which was 1,000 days left. These 1,000 days left is a very big eye opening for me, because when I say to myself, oh, we have up to 2030, we have up to 3 years, I am relaxed a little bit. When this guy, I watched this video and it said, the guy who is interviewing Tom Blue is a billionaire. And when he said 1,000 days, it's a lot less time than 3 years. 1,000 days is less than 3 years in my mindset, and 8 days I've already passed by till the time I saw the when I saw this. So that's the background I would like you to think about. I want to also, and you also has experienced this in the last few years from the chat GPT came in. My experience, personal experience was in 2018, after losing my job when I created my first website, it took me 3 months to create that website. 3 months. That 3 months was dealing with the copywriter, writing something, sending him notes, and sending him what is my competitive advantage, what do I want to say, what is my product, and all that. It took me 15, 20 days to just write for him. Then he would send me back something, and all that work took me 3 months. Now, within an hour, I can get all these things done. At least the first draft can be done. Now, that's a more than 100x improvement. Now, when we can see that in our emails and research reports and ideation, like Colin said, we have so much massive improvement. Then why can't we see those improvement in the business and the business processes, which is actually the foundation of our businesses? Any question till now, or should I just move on at this speed?
You're good at this
Oh,
speed.
all
Okay.
good, Sandeep.
Okay, so just stop me wherever you want because I want to reach out to this. I'm creating the context around it that why I think like this. So your smartest hire isn't a person. It's a very. I was very afraid of mentioning this in one of my LinkedIn posts that it's an agent. It's a controversial statement, but it is true. And if you read this, Mark Zuckerberg, what he says. Just like every business has an email address, phone, website, and a social media account, he thinks that every business is going to have an AI. And I think I'm 100% sure he was talking about AI agents. I saw that interview. Now, if that is the potential we are talking about here. That the potential that you and I, every business will need this kind of a thing. So traditional softwares versus AI, what is the difference? We see the traditional softwares usually go by if-then rules, but AI agent is one such thing which is acts like a person. He's flexible. You give it a goal, don't have to give all the commands, and it figures it out. It has a reasoning, it figures it out, the right path to do it. That is the right thing, that is the right path for it. Okay, we have another person here. Let me take him. Okay, so hey Chris, welcome. So we have this going on, and so I you already have a superpower. The real question is, if you see my screen on the first one, I said double your output, not your head count. Now, I want you to understand that a conservative target, it's the starting line, it is the minimum thing, because if we can go from 3 months to an hour for my writing an AI website, and it can be more than 100x, then why can't we have a double the output with AI on different? And we'll look into this in a few minutes. When you double your, like for example, what is the impact of doubling your output? When you double it, your sales reach, you don't just get 2x of the leads, you become the dominant voice in the market. Brent is a product manager. He's a very accomplished product manager, and he has developed a product, and he will speak to it, I guess. Brent, would you if jump in if you want to say something here? Because if AI can help you double your output and not your double the leads, it can have a dominant voice in the market. When you cut your customer response time in half or even less, then you can have 2x the conversions. Sorry, I had to get somebody in. So 2x improvement is a key process that can have a 5x improvement on your bottom line. You already have the power of doing this in your personal life. I just gave you my example of using a chat GPT. Then we now need to see how we can get that into the business. Now, there's an old way and the new way. You have already seen that. Who are we? I just wanted to go through it in one slide, two slides, and say we have a team who worked with IBM and SAP kind of massive projects. We have worked on various airlines and e-commerce projects and custom software. We have done thousands of integrations in the past. We have done a lot, and we can be your technical. If you have an idea, you want to go behind it, or you are a business owner, we can be your technical partners. So that you focus on your idea or your product and your solution, and we provide you support from the behind. So this is some of our strengths, some of our use cases. Ask for the case links. I will send it to you, some of our certifications. And let's go into the main reason why I have called this as a stuck on AI and where to start. Now, rather than giving a command like we tell our employees, hey Bob, can you pull the sales report, find the top three reps and email a summary? The new way will be, or even a better than what I wrote, is they send me a performance review of my top three reps every Friday at 4 p.m. Now, my AI assistant or my AI agent or junior employee or AI intern, whatever you call it, it will provide you that report at that 4 p.m. every time. You don't have to break the rhythm of your top employee and say, go and find these things and tell me how you're doing. And if you forget it, he forgets it, and then you don't have it for next 3 weeks and you're running your organization blind. This isn't about making your current processes fast. It is about automating them completely by the help of AI. Now, like I said, double your output, not your head count. Is the when we like it's a hamster wheel. Like we saw it in a picture. We landed a huge. We usually this is happen. I land into a. I sorry, somebody reaching out. Okay, so Chris is trying to connect. So we will. Yevgen, can you watch out for the chat and let me know if anybody asks anything?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I'm doing that.
and
No
and
worries.
maybe watch out and respond if anybody asks questions.
Yeah.
So we this is what happens in any business. We find a business, we find a account, and we say, oh yeah, we need two account managers, we need three admins or two admins or a payroll and everything, an assistant or something, and we our payroll jumps by 15 to 25%, and our best people are now stuck when training new people and all that. The new way will be that you can anticipate that in the future, in the future, and probably create some more AI assistants for you to do all that stuff, so that your star account managers and your administrative assistants and your office managers and you yourself are free on meetings, strategy meetings, and meeting your clients, meeting your customers, and relationships and all that. That's how I believe we will double the output and not without increasing the headcount. The second thing, another thing which we see here is that you see that you hire more people into a flawed process, which is a manual process. I say it flawed, but you don't fix the problem. You just make it bigger and expensive. An agent, the most like I have worked with, like as an IBM employee, whenever we went to various big projects, we would ask questions, and that will trigger the thought of a lot of people and will while answering our questions. And the same thing happen in small and medium businesses. We ask them questions. They start thinking about their business, and then they are able to even fix the problems which they have, and then it can be a scalable business. You achieve true operational leverage, and your output can be 5 to 10x, while your costs and complexity barely move, because we are doubling the output without increasing the output, without increasing the headcount. So it's like your best people are trapped in $20 work, chasing invoices, updating CRM. So, Colin, you were asking where will it be implemented? We will come to it in a few minutes. But if you see that in any business, there are administrative processes where they are chasing invoices for AP, accounts payable, or for accounts receivables. They are updating their CRMs. Uh, they're running reports. They're doing bunch of stuff rather than actually for what you have hired them for. That's how, or maybe your own business owner is spending all that time, even if they are busy. So you need to we figure out how much value you put on your own work. Your agents, your AI assistants handle 100% of the, like we saw what Vinod Khosla said, that we are going to see that 80% of the work will be done by AI, and then if these will be 100% of the repetitive and the data-driven tasks, where human is elevated to focus exclusively on relationships and complex projects and innovation, rather than the simple cut, paste, and copy paste stuff in any organization. And they will be like, we can put humans in the loop in every AI process, and then we can have those humans take care of only the exceptions. Now we talk about your new hire isn't a human, it's an agentic AI. like this most important statement here, in my opinion, is Salesforce, which is a very, very big company. Almost every five Fortune 500 company use this software. Their CEO is on track to deploy 1 billion. 1 billion means B as a boy, and I just say that because AI agents, AI assistants across its customer base, 1 billion. See the amount of change it is going to happen. So that's going to take away a lot of grunt work, which is draining your team, which is costing you a lot of money and slowing your growth. And that's where these agents will come in. Now, some like old way of thinking was that we need somebody to manage our custom support inbox. Like Colin, you said what is an example? Sort email, support and respond to common questions. Hey, what is the price of this product? What is the how do I what is the quality of this? What does it what is the ingredients of this product? All those questions are facts which can be put into the agent's response thing, and the agent is flawlessly answering all the questions. And you'll be, I know you are an AI guy, so you will be not surprised, but many of my customers are surprised at the quality of the conversation these AI, even the voice callers are having now. They sound so human-like, like it looks like you're talking to a actual human, and people leave actually very good remarks and compliments for these agents. So now the next thing here I say is, Sarah, can you follow up all the clients who are 15 days past due? Why do we have to remind anybody like this? We don't have to. Think first of all, I don't want my business owners to break the process based on if they are busy. If they don't remember, that doesn't mean that the business stops afterwards or we are delayed. Because 15 days past due, 30 days past due, or 60 days past due, whatever your process is, that should be taken care of by the AI agent. By sending emails or even follow up or phone calls, whatever it is, it can be done and it can be managed. And we can have a human in the loop for to make sure that they are if there are any exceptions, we can be taken that can be taken care of. Any question so far? I
No
know.
question, Sandeep, but I did want to mention in the previous slide, your big takeaway, or previous one to that was updating your processes, right? Always said processes before tools. Many agencies and companies, I think they've been doing a similar process for years and years and years, and they don't see it that it is now inefficient, right? Creating a new tool or implementing a new tool makes you makes you think about that again, makes you reevaluate how you can do it. Don't just do the same thing the same way using a different tool. Take the opportunity to modify and update and optimize your processes. I think that's extremely important. Um, so yeah, and again, what you also said about how can this help the small business person? I'm looking forward to learning more about that, of course. But a lot of the things I'm hearing about are like email autoresponders and things like that. And I just don't know that small businesses really care about those things.
Yeah.
And then how
So
do you let them see that it is important, right?
yeah. So email autoresponders and all that, when you see on YouTube, on all those things, on media and all that, these are the easiest of the things to do, and people started doing it. Now, the complex things to do are a little more. Whenever there is a handoff between two processes, there is some breakage. We have a process like Yevgen and I always talk about that we come in where your software's current apps fail because we are able to connect the custom softwares and the AI agents together and create a product which can be which can apply across the organization, to do those things. So what we are trying to say here is, like, for example, creating an AI agent to do the stuff which Sarah was doing, or she's forgetting to do. sending reminders to the customer base, or even checking your vendor invoices, or you are doing compliance, and we'll come into those kind of use cases. Those are the use cases in any business, will free up a lot of human capital for you to do value creation work. Okay. So, did I answer your question, Colin? Or I appreciate your
Yes, yes, you
comment,
did.
and
Mhm.
and there is it's such a large field. The we can you or I or anybody can go into a used business and actually ask them questions to lead them to know what they are doing actually in their business to help them. The easiest thing is to say, I will give you a voice caller to receive the call and to call the customer. That is the easiest. This is already done. People are selling it for $50 an hour app. So you can do it all the time, right? So, but but understanding what actually they need and solving that problem is a very, very important thing. And I agree with you that most of the people are doing that. But thank you very much for asking and commenting on that. Uh,
Welcome.
so we're talking about every minute your time spends on manual and repetitive work, and not on your acquiring new customers and closing deals. And AI agents will eliminate that trade-off. Rather than having them do all that stuff, you can ask your people to start having those, in live meetings with the customers. And our, like here, which the old way of it was that our marketing team spends hours manually digging a new lead. Now, this is another use case. They are manually looking at the lead contacts and verifying company information and seeing whether they are the right thing or not, or going in and comparing the intent data and all that. So, agent can also do the same stuff, and your person is getting that spreadsheet or an update on a CRM, and they just come and start making phone calls or just doing the meetings with the people. So that's where you save time. An agent continuously finds and qualifies any new leads based on your ICP, and then enrich that data and contact information and send it to your CRM so that you're ready next day and your team is ready next day to call or meet more people. So these are the use cases for these things. So stop. So we have a dedicated person to who reconcile all. Like for example, we are talking about vendor invoices. I just gave you an example of a vendor invoice. Now, in any business, there are a lot of vendor invoices coming in. Are we checking all of them or not? Whether they are the right price, whether the price is equal, is at par with what the contract was, or whether it has that 10% extra discount which the person agreed 3 months back. I don't think any business owner or even a big company has it. And I met a McKinsey consultant a few weeks back on some other thing, and they have spent almost a year-long project, a year or 2 year long project on a oil and gas company to just do this one thing. That the invoices, thousands of invoices come in, they check it against the contract, they check it against all these emails and all that, and say it is as per the thing. Otherwise, if it is like a 5% variance or 3% variance or any variance, it should flag for humans to go and check it. And that saves a lot of time, that saves a lot of money. And you don't have to worry about whether your person is actually remembering those contracts or not. And we don't. I don't remember it. I don't remember whether I just keep paying bills on my own business. We need to have a AI agent to start looking into this. Then the HR thing, HR is like most of the questions. Yevgen, I think yes, last time we had a HR person, and she was so overwhelmed with all these questions. How many PTOs I have, how many benefits, what kind of benefits. I told my example. It took me months to understand what is a benefit and how. Sorry, somebody is joining. How many months I took to just understand the benefits I have and whether I should go for PPO or something else. All those questions can be answered by your AI. There's no need for a human to answer that. And in 2018, I was working in a couple of billion-dollar company called Bio Laboratories, and I think they had a big team just to onboard people like me to teach them how to use and figure out what the benefits are. And those things can be taken care of by AI. Anything?
Just,
Yeah, go ahead.
just adding a couple of words here that we're doing right now knowledge system for the guys. They have not only these questions from HR side, but it's relatively small company. There are about 70 people. And CEO needs to spend time to answer regular questions to his employees, while from his perspective, like most of questions are pretty much the same. And so that most important person in the company needs to spend own time to answer pretty much simple questions. All those questions are very valuable. They are important, but at the same time, they are very simple and can be found somewhere. But people still come to him because it's faster. You can get information from the first hand. It will be pretty much accurate. All of that can be automated, and all these questions can be answered just by a bot.
Great. And anything you wish to say, Christopher? Thank you for joining, but do you have anything? Sharhil, anything? Henry, any question or any comment?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So, depending on the industry, each industry has, or each company within an industry has different compliance opportunities, right? When you're working with some of these businesses, maybe smaller businesses, how how does the customer, the client, like if they're trying to bring your services in, how do you guys manage that type of compliance? Because there might be some security issues, right? There might be some, I don't know, laws that go against that particular company in that industry because of the technologies. Like how do you guys work that out?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you for asking. There are several options. Many companies, they are inside Microsoft infrastructure, and Microsoft infrastructure provides ChatGPT models inside their Azure system. That's one side. If you, for any reason, don't want to use it, and just to add some notes that ChatGPT in this case, or OpenAI, they don't take your information for model training. If you don't want to use it for any reason, there are options when we can launch and some open source models, which are also very powerful right now on your server. Or, for example, in Austin, I know a person, they run data center in Austin for running exclusively large language models. So we have whole control over all data, all operations, and you can be sure that it's properly secured and no data goes outside the company.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Mark.
welcome.
Thank you. And what a timely question. I was at a compliance slide. You 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 were at a compliance slide. Yeah, I was.
I'm setting you up for success, Sandeep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So your business runs on licenses, permits. You're a construction person like Manolo. You deal in real estate. All these construction projects, so many people are working, whether they have the right permits or not, whether and city can come in and ask and all that. So I think many property managers, many large construction projects will all have these, or manufacturing companies have to have that. So all these madness is to be managed by either spreadsheets and all that, and it is always a spreadsheet and a prayer. I jokingly say here is that is what we manage it for. Actually, if you look at it, we can have an agent. Just like, it's not about automating and creating hundreds of lines of codes for software and creating a new software app for you. It is just freeing your human employee and creating an assistant for that employee to automatically alert on every 30, 60, and 90 days and say this subcontractor's insurance is 15 days from expiring. We need to act it right now and actually create alerts for that. And now if we don't do it, then we can be in trouble. And there are human errors because whenever we see, and we cannot, any company cannot have the luxury of hiring one person to constantly check on who is expiring and all that. So it's easy to replace that kind of a person. You know, Colin, you asked about what other processes. Compliance is one of the biggest for any company where there is a regulatory involvement. Uh, we talk about a certificate of insurance. Let's not go into that. And this is the most favorite topic of everyone is how do I save my leads? I'm not converting my leads. And I always look at, and first question I ask is, well, you're not converting your leads, but how fast do you respond to your leads when they come in? And they'll say, yeah, within 24 hours. The marketing or the sales, the data says you have to respond within 5 minutes of receiving the lead if you want the best result out of it. If you respond in 2 hours, say 2 hours or 6 hours or 2 days or one day, the effectiveness of it goes a lot down. It diminishes a lot. And like in this picture, you're saying you're pouring in the money is bringing your bucket, and it's actually competitor A and competitor B is also enjoying the fruits of your labor and in your dollars. Basically, it explains, and this is where, Colin, I think many business owners will implement, if not already, in discussion on these kind of things. Your marketing dollars are on fire. We need to work on it. It is also a discipline. They will agree to it. Like I always give an example of a place for mom. Manelo, you know about place for mom, right? So
Yes, I've heard of it.
yeah, if you call place from mom for saying anything, they will respond within 60 seconds. And within that is what they were for. And why can't every other business do that? Because this is the path of it. And we can provide those voice callers, we can provide those text messages or an omni-channel approach to address that. This is how we can plow that. So let's yeah, I'm explaining the same thing here. Let's do a conversation afterwards. So net 60. So I'm saying stop giving your customers free loans. Why am I saying that? Like we covered it a few slides away, this few slides before, that many of our business owners or companies have a net 60 or net 90 kind of a rule with their customers. Am I, is it normal? Yeah, it is normal. But if you don't send the invoice at the right time, then your 59th day, if you send it, your 60 days start from the 59th day. And it is where I think the major challenge comes in when these invoices come in. But here I'm talking about the pallet shipped this morning, the bill of lading is on the warehouse manager, accounting will get it tomorrow, create the invoice, hopefully it will go out Friday. Why does it take so much time to do that? And sometimes it forgets, and you are 20 days delayed, and your customer will start that response after 20 days when they receive it, not at the time of the bill of lading when it was issued. Now, unless you are selling some OPM kind of stuff, it is otherwise you have to have that. Another thing I'll tell you, when I was an SAP consultant or an IBM, many customers will say, oh, our accounts receivable is down. I'll say why it is down, because people are not getting the invoices correct first time. And when the customers are very smart, they will say, today was the payment day. When I processed your payment, my system broke and threw this error. Now it threw this error and said you have not put the PO at the right place. The bill of lading was not at the right place, and it did not have the right digits. You know what happens? You go back, update it, and then you lose another 20 days or 15 days like that. So that is what a AI agent can take care and make sure that you are able to send the perfect invoice and checks everything, sends it to you for approval, and you are just there looking for exceptions and approve it. Any question, Colin? I know you wanted to talk about a few more things here.
No, I think you're covering it pretty well.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. We will not go into so detail here. I want to have some time for us to discuss, like stop donating profit to vendors. We talked about this a few minutes back. The accounts receivable has received, no, sorry, accounts payable has received the payments. Every company usually checks for three big companies usually do a three-way match, like whether the goods have been received, whether the amount is correct, whether the PO is correct, and these two, three things they check and they agree and say payment is done. I don't think any company has the time or the bandwidth to check all the negotiated spot discounts, all kind of internal records, and we lose. This is kind of a, a breaker in the process where there is a lot of money flows through these leaks in the bucket. And this is a very, very big use case for our AI agents, and we are in touch with a few people, and I think very soon we'll have a few like this. Our job site is bleeding money in phone tag. Like for example, in this case, a somebody is at a construction site, say supervisor is on the phone trying to get hold of a PM, the entire crew is standing and saying, and 1,500 an hour in payroll for them to wait. And why? Because they suppose they wanted some copper fittings, it is urgent, and the PM is busy or office manager is busy or they leave a voicemail. But if you have an AI agent as a first receiver of the call, AI caller, AI inbound person will receive it, understand I think I have it here. If you look at it, the field officer, field supervisor, and this is a scenario, calls a voice agent, which is kind of an office manager or office assistant, and says, "Oh, we're short on copper fittings, and it is urgent." The voice agent understands it and says it in a urgent or non-urgent classify. If it is an urgent, it creates a high priority purchase order. The high purchase order goes to the supplier if it is approved, or to you as a owner, as a human in the loop. It goes there and it gets a ETA when the copper is coming in, and it updates the field supervisor. There's no need for anybody. We can have a human in the loop in every step here and say, if you don't trust your stuff, like if you say one is inbound call, we are short on copper fittings, voice agent classifies it and it creates a urgent request, it creates a API, a purchase order, it goes to PO, the offer received, and say, yeah, we will send it to you by Friday. This alert is sent to this person and say field supervisor and says, you will get your stuff at 5 days. We can have another agent here which is checking on the ETA from if it is so urgent that they can checking off the FedEx or the UPS tracking and say you are going to receive it in next day or not. If there is the FedEx problem or something, it should alert and say your FedEx is going to reach. So we can think of all those scenarios, Colin, where we can put in these kind of things in a manufacturing or a warehousing or any construction company where we can have these kind of agents doing that stuff. Have I explained that okay, or do you have any questions on this?
I don't have any questions. No, thanks, Sandeep.
That's
No
fine.
questions.
I am picking you up on every time because you and I had a conversation at the start. So
I don't mind at all. Happy to be involved.
thank you, thank you. So here is a very interesting case. We did it a use case for a company. Like think,
Sandeep, sorry to interrupt you. Manolo, I assume you had a questions, right?
Yes, I was gonna wait to the end of the
okay,
meetup if
Okay.
there's questions and answers. Yes, sir.
okay. Let's move. Let's finish it off here because it's a long presentation. I'll just keep talking, and Yevgen will say, you have 32 slides here. I love to talk about this stuff, but let's finish it here. Here is a very good scenario that suppose you are a lumber yard or you are a building material supplier, right? What do you want? This was done for that kind of a company. So what do you want? You want to know how many builders are getting permits every day so that you can reach out to them. That is the simple ask you have. So that you can reach out to them at the right time. So this agent is going to look at the county permit website and the city permit, whatever the relevant is, and figuring out all those people, builders, their phone numbers, and the house or the construction project where for what they are getting the permit, capture that onto their CRM or the spreadsheet or the Google Sheet, update the human sales person or the AI salesperson can pick it up from there and start making call, and a beautiful AI voice which will sound like human will call, say, hey Manolo, you got this house, you are converting this into a project, you need lumber, you need these many switches, you need these many flooring, we are there to help you come. And the guy is surprised because they got the permit only 2 hours back, right? And then you have an engagement going on. So that's how. And if you compare it with the other guy who is sitting in his store waiting for the customer to come, that guy is not coming now because somebody has captured it at the right time. And without even earlier it was that I'll have to hire somebody for $20 or $40 an hour for a salesperson, but now it is pennies to it, pennies. You know and that pennies will not even sleep also. But anyway, let's finish it off here, and I will answer. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's talk about stuff here, and maybe we can answer some questions. Manolo, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask a kind of specific question. I'm in the process of buying and selling aluminum storefront hardware from overseas, and I'm gonna be renting out a brick and mortar in Houston, and also build a platform and sell online. How I guess I'm pretty new to this AI world. How can this help me out?
You are going to
Okay.
buy aluminum.
Yes, aluminum storefront hardware, like just the hardware, because I have another company that we manufacture aluminum doors and
Mhm.
we sell them to installers. So I was trying to create this business and
Yeah.
uh,
So
sell to pretty much wholesale.
just to draw the picture right. You want to launch online store to sell
Yes,
all of that to other businesses
other
that will be
businesses,
mostly B2B, right?
B2B.
It's
Yes,
yeah, and we have like large experience of launching online stores, including B2B solutions.
okay.
If you want to, we can have like separate call and go through what
Yep,
exactly you needed. When we talk about the AI here,
yep,
it's right now it's a question because your main focus should be on running successful online business, and
right.
every e-commerce store it requires not just having a website because it's like 50% of a question. The
Right.
second part, you need to reach those B2B guys whom you would like to sell your products, and there are
Okay.
different strategies on that. Maybe you already have a list of contacts which you can
Yes.
sign a contract, all of that. It it makes your life easier.
Right.
And in this case, probably you need just to have a right platform to order everything online. And AI here can be, as for example, as a consultant about the products, because it depends on the business. In B2B world, very often the vendor or other side, they know everything about your products. But sometimes they may have different questions, and AI assistant might be a good fit here just to answer those questions. What type of materials are you using? How to install these doors? Where to find, all instructions, all that kind of stuff. And but I believe AI assistant here is add-on to your main business, because if you build this B2B portal properly, it will be pretty much easy to use. And the main focus in B2B, it's not the fancy, nice pictures, but usually very, easy way to add many products into baskets. And
Okay.
I'm not sure about the doors, but when we, sell, for example, hardware equipment for different guys, you need to go and like add hundreds of different type of products into basket, like in 10 minutes. And
Right.
this is, the main flow and the main focus, at least at the beginning. And later on, you can add
Yeah.
some fancy stuff for answering. If you want to, we can have a separate call and
Yeah,
go through your
definitely.
requirements.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
please.
do that.
Yeah, please send me your email and phone number on or maybe or to him separately to Yevgen or me, and I will call you
Yeah,
and we
All
can
right.
have a
Sounds good. Thank
conversation.
you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Anything else? Harsh, you have been quiet, buddy. You have any question?
No, it was good discussion. Thank you for the input.
I didn't ask you where are you because I have a habit of looking at a picture. And
Oh yes,
you,
yes.
you, you and Henry are the only ones very, very shy, and I couldn't concentrate on you guys.
Yeah, no. Sorry about that. I sometimes I do load the pictures on the meetup calls, which I could not do on this one. So
Okay.
yeah, but picture me as a smart guy.
Yeah, I know, definitely. Harsh,
Okay,
where are you? I didn't ask you. You are in Austin?
I'm Houston. I'm in Houston.
Oh yeah, you know
The
what?
Houston
I
area.
I
Yeah.
love Houston. All of I live in Austin, and nobody from Austin is here. Brent is here, and Mario is here. Thank you very much, Brent and Mario. But I have more Houston.
Yeah, no, Houston is a big hub for various activities in IT. Um, but no, so I find it very interesting the material that you presented. That's obviously a lot of conversation going on around these areas. One thing that I find interesting, and maybe Evgen can help. I think you're the CEO, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Are you
Yeah, that's right.
also technical?
yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Like you also play technical role as well? Okay,
Yeah.
so with a lot of agentic work going on, and I have seen some demos of N8N and those kinds of solutions where people are creating agents on their own and things. It seems like at some point there will be proliferation of all of this, right? There will be millions and millions of agents floating around. Some will be custom internal to the corporations, and so they will be private, and so nobody will secure. Others may be available online. Where will this lead to? I mean, if real estate agents will serve a variety of real estate needs, right? So
Yeah.
one set or one suite of agents for real estate market should suffice for pretty much all businesses. I mean, that is a scary picture in some respect because that means once those tools are built, a lot of work will be gone.
Very good question. I will say my personal opinion. First of all, I believe that development of large language models, it's probably around its peak. I believe I have this feeling just because we don't have any major news about, new technology. We have a lot of news about applying the current technology, but we don't see major shifts for last a year, I guess. Because when you have seen like GPT-3, it was, mind blowing. When GPT-4 came, it was, next level of LLM. And when we see GPT-5, it's better, but it's not 10 times better. It's, like 20%, 50%. So I believe that technology itself probably reaching its limits. Sam Altman will say something different, but he is in charge, so he cannot say anything different. And about the work we have around, you're right. And AI agents will help a lot for many people to do their job quicker and more effective. But I don't see that at current stage, AI can replace a human. It cannot. There are still a lot of decision making. Still, human makes a direction where we go. We decide what we need to do. We decide what goals we need to achieve. We decide how it should look like. We decide what we consider good results, what we consider bad results. And so AI is a very good executor to some degree. And so it allows, I am technical person. I was developer myself in past. I didn't do, commercial coding for last 7 years, but I was senior guy, an architect. And I don't see and this area of software development, it was the first one when, big guys started to say, oh, all developers will be replaced. I see right now it, hits a little bit back. We see so much code created with wipe coding, and it doesn't bring the final results. It looks like the main problem of AI, when you leave AI on its own, it makes some results. It looks very right, but when you start to test it, it does work properly. So it imitates good work, but it still doesn't do good work. So my perspective, we still need human, and I don't see why it should change in the near future until we have something new from big guys. And the human will be the person who still manage and leads the whole processes. However, AI can speed us up, and I compare it to technical revolution in 18th century. Like before machinery, we used the horses, right? And the agriculture and everything was pretty much slow. Did people live at that time? Yes, they did. They have, from their perspective, they had everything. They had great life, and so on. But when machinery came to the game, the whole our life changed dramatically, because we were able, first of all, to do much more and agriculture, and that allow it to feed population, to bring more, and to free us from planting to doing some useful stuff. I believe AI will make the same revolution for cognitive work, when you can switch from moving papers from one table to another and free yourself from this job and focus on things which requires human brain, not just human hands.
Right. No, that's an excellent perspective. Hopefully, it's not that scary the way every day these executives from Anthropic and OpenAI, they keep scaring people away in terms of, you just have 2 more years and 3 more years before you lose your job. So everyone is scared.
We will change. I assume our job will change dramatically, but we are humans. We decide how it will look like. And these guys on the other end, they need some investments, right?
That's right.
We'll give them investments if they say, oh, it's already done. That's the best you can have.
Yeah, no, thanks for that answer. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Colin?
Yeah, can totally agree with what was said about AI replacing jobs. It's not here yet. Until we get general intelligence, we as employees or company owners or whatever, we just have to learn how to use the tool properly. We didn't shy away from using word processing tools. We considered it a boon to our daily lives. It helps us do our jobs better. This is what this will be. I think there was an article on, was it TechCrunch, I think, that said, no, it was Morgan Stanley, I think, who said there could be some small, 7% drop in you can take about 7% people's jobs away. But those will come back because there's prompt engineering, there's the verification of the data, there's the training of the data. It's not ready for taking my job yet. It's not ready for that. Even if you're a programmer, it helps, but it's not generally intelligent, right? So we're gonna be fine for a while, but we need to stay on top of the tools so that we stay competitive.
That's true.
Yeah, reinventing ourselves is important at this point of time, and no matter what job we do, even if you look at the lawyers, lawyers are in such a big trouble. Half of the work half of the work, or maybe 80% of the work is done, so only the top kind of lawyers are left to be used, and they are also using chat gpt and all that mainly, and relying less on their human employees. Like you go to any law firm, they used to have a lot of junior law, how do they get junior lawyers to take care of a bunch of stuff, and now they're looking at AI, even though they are suspicious of the answers they are getting, but still they are using it all the time. So things are we need to reinvent ourselves. So I have a different view on this. I understand. I am not a programmer, so I don't know what Yevgen is talking about. So I look at from a business point of view. I am saying even if it is 50% correct, it is going to impact us. So better be prepared. And that's my take of it. But so anything,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think we.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
Sorry,
go.
go ahead. Go ahead, you can.
Yeah, I don't say that we shouldn't be prepared. We should, because like riding a horse in the past and today you should drive a car. You still need to drive it, right? And same about our jobs. We still need to do it, but
yeah,
it will look differently. However, I believe it's really hard to predict how it will look like.
yeah,
Yeah, I think one thing that I am observing and have thought about is in the past, whenever any technological revolution has come about, it had its time. So whether it was moving to the web, right, that people slowly understood, then there were companies involved in moving companies from regular desktop to web. And that took a good 7 to 10 years before it became mainstream. Then you talk about the mobile technology, and a lot of mobile applications were developed, a lot of web conversions from desktop to mobile versions. That also was about 5 years before it became mainstream, right? And then it still continued on. A lot of areas were still not served. Now it is, I think iPhone and Android mobile app industry is kind of like mature, right? In the last 4 or 5 years ago. So from 2007, 2008, when iPhone and Android phones came to the scene, to the market, it took about 10 years before things became mature and what you call saturated. Um, I think this space is moving very, very fast. And that's probably
Yeah,
because it is self-learning, right? So the time
yeah,
is cut short.
and it's
And so
available.
and it's available. Yes, it's already
Yeah,
available. So the challenge is that I think the maturity will come about in the next 2 years or so. It's all in 2 years. I mean, this whole thing was advertised to 2022, late 2022, right? And it's 2025, and we are talking about already an AI that is nearing human capacity. So if it continues at this pace, I think the Moore's law is probably, it was talking about doubling. This is like 10x or maybe 100x every
yeah,
year.
yeah. I know, I
maybe.
know. Every
From
every
my perspective, like imagine, I can say like as a business owner, like usually on the top level, we spend 80% of time, sometimes more, just on operations,
Mm.
like reporting, KPIs, reviewing, like control management, all that kind of stuff. Imagine that using AI, all this operational stuff goes away. AI will do operational stuff for us, right? AI cannot implement new ideas. AI cannot lead the company, but it can take away all operations at some point from us. And we have still plenty of things to do, but we'll just, and many business owners, they dream to jump out from operations. And they're, if you go online and try to check on the internet how complicated this topic is, how to jump out from operation, from the business owner for C-level and for managers in general, it's so painful and it's so hard to do. And I believe AI will allow us to jump out from operations and finally focus on things which matters: how to make the product better, how to deliver service better, how to invent new things to, and not just spending time on, daily routine.
Anything else? Henry, would you introduce yourself? Are you busy?
No, I'm going in and out meetings and listening.
Okay.
Well, like the other caller said, you could also look at me as the intelligent guy. Um, the only thing I wanted to say, someone had mentioned it about regulations and keeping up. But mine, I wanted to find out if you guys have like an API or something where if you work in an industry that has constant changing regulations, will the AI be able to keep up with the regulations, or you will have to manually upload it in order for it to function properly?
If you have like the source of truth, like website or new documents, whatever, which you can upload into the system automatically or semi-automatically just by one button, it's possible to keep it up on the recent updates. We are working right now for the guys. We have actually internal startup for Swiss market. I have been living in Switzerland for some time, and I have a business partner there. We are making an application for the lower class for getting lawyer instructions and help, and we need to keep up all laws database in our system up to date. We are working on that right now, and it's in the middle of the work, but it's doable because Switzerland, for example, they publish all their laws online, and you just can go there and check what changed and refresh your database. In this case, it's absolutely doable to keep all your system up to date and work accordingly to those changes.
Similar to the way the lawyers are, the junior lawyers are out of work because all of that stuff is so well documented on the web, and it does change. Tax officials as well, right? It's not really an issue for tax preparers because it changes every year, but it's still available. And I think if you go to ChatGPT 5 and you tell it to think deeply, or you give it specific keywords in your prompt like use current information, it will go out and it will seek any new information, especially if it's talking about quality standards, ISO 9001, engineering standards, those things that do change. They don't change every week, right, Henry? They change about once a year, and sometimes much less than that. So I think I'd say, yeah, totally, it's totally doable, and it shouldn't be a lot of work. It shouldn't be any work on your part, except maybe changing your prompt.
Yeah. The most important thing, Henry, which I understood from Yevgen's answer is the source of truth. If you know the source of truth, we can get it done. If we don't know the source of truth, we are in trouble. But we need something like maybe an organization, suppose an assisted living facility or a caregiving facility has a lot of changing laws, every state or every government and all that, then those guys can come up with, say, new law has come in, and then we can just upload it into the system, and it can capture that. Or as a part of the email process and all those documentation is one of the document added, and it will update, definitely.
Yeah, the reason I'd mentioned it because, like with a human worker, there might be a meeting. They might say, okay, come to this conference or come to this meeting. And in the meeting, they discuss, the upcoming changes. Now you have the AI working for you, right? Say you don't go to this meeting. What I'm saying is, how does it tap into whatever is relevant or whatever is current?
That's a very good question. In our case, we build our own database and upload all laws into our system. So we have tracking the changes, and we check those websites on a regular basis. So if we see anything changed, we re-upload this information into our database. And if we are talking about LLM side, we add it into prompt. It answers only taking information from our database, not from our own memory, not from information outside on web. it must use only our database. In this case, we are sure that we provide the fresh information and the correct information.
Okay. All right. That's the answer I was looking for. Oh, okay.
Awesome. Thank you for question.
Thank you, Henry. Okay, sir. Nice meeting you all. And I think everybody has sent your emails or something, and I don't want to be a pest and say, hey, buy me, buy me, buy me. But if you would like to get in touch with me, or I can send my LinkedIn request, so that you can LinkedIn with me. Here is my LinkedIn. Please send me a LinkedIn invite. And Brent has also left, but he has left his LinkedIn invite. I think, Colin, you can get in touch with him because he is a very good, experienced product manager, and maybe you and him can come up with something good for ideation and all that.
Yeah, great suggestion. I missed it. He was a product manager, so
Yeah, he has
networking,
left.
good
He
thing.
has led a lot of product development and all that. So maybe you're doing the same thing, but I'm just thought of it.
Yeah,
There's
good.
always,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Hey, well done, guys. I appreciate all the knowledge, and it has helped
Thank you,
me,
guys.
realize what are the benefits. Even though I'm a tech guy and a product manager, and I know quite a bit about AI, I still struggle with, with whether this can be sold to a small or medium-sized business. And so I appreciate the knowledge. I think it has helped give me some more confidence in that area.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. And Atik Hashmi. So this is copy. I'm just trying to launch it here. Somehow, Atik, can you send us your LinkedIn again?
Yes, I think one second, let me do it again.
I
I
think you
think
copied.
somehow it did not copy the link again
Yeah,
properly.
I think you copied Colin's.
Yes, I think I was just trying to change it quickly because my browser was running very slow. So I said, let me just say in the meantime, get you. But
Yeah,
see if you can click on this one.
yeah. Okay, thank you. You're also in Houston, huh?
Yes.
Great, Atik. Thank you very much. Bye. All the
Thank you
best.
so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.